Part 1. My jealous wife has been starving my daughter on purpose. So I have a 16-year-old daughter from a previous marriage. For context, I met my now wife and she had a son. Our relationship was great and our connection was really present. 5 months into our relationship, I introduced her to my ex. My ex and wife were cordial, and my daughter warmed up to her quickly. From what I know, they had a good relationship. My daughter grew up a picky eater. For example, she won't eat oatmeal, tomatoes, garlic, mushrooms, barbecue, salty or sour, etc. She loves spicy food, sweets and all that. And you could not trick her into eating anything she didn't like. When she was 13, I put 1 garlic clove in the melted butter I used to make her grilled cheese. I don't know how her supersonic taste buds got it, but I did. I knew for a fact the taste could have been more pungent. Her taste senses amazed me. Oh, she ignored me for a whole week and didn't eat anything I cooked for her. For that betrayal, I never tried anything like that again. I work a 5 to 8 shift, but yesterday I got off around 9 because my group and I wanted to hurry and finish our part of our work project. When I got home, my wife had already prepared dinner and left my plate in the oven. I heated my food, stood at the island and chatted with my wife, who was with our son in the living room. As I was eating, I realized that my wife had cooked garlic stir-fried rice, barbecue chicken and a vegetable salad consisting of corn, tomatoes, mushrooms and spinach. I stopped chatting with my wife and observed my plate for 5 minutes. My wife asked what was wrong and if I disliked the food. Finally, after an eternity, I wondered what my daughter had eaten because everything she cooked was all foods my daughter disliked. She was quiet momentarily before finally saying that my daughter had not eaten since lunch. Needless to say, I was upset. I asked her why she didn't change the meal to accommodate my daughter's palate. She got defensive and started telling my daughter that she was being dramatic and that it was just food so she could still eat if hungry. We argued and I reminded her it was more complex for a picky eater like my daughter. She said she was tired of my needy kid and should cook for herself. She even told me she wished my daughter starved instead. But then I had a tantrum. She then told me she wanted my daughter not to be born. I was shocked and nearly fought her to be honest. And I've never fought a woman. I told her that my daughter was just as crucial as her perfect little son, and that I even preferred my daughter over her. After a while of going back and forth, I just turned my back on her and ignored her for the rest of the day. I felt that my daughter's wishes were disregarded. I took my daughter out to eat, brought her some sweets, and we bonded and talked a lot. I discovered my wife has been purposely cooking food my daughter doesn't like. My daughter has never been one to complain, so she has been using money from her paycheck, and she wasn't going to eat this particular night because she had no intention of pulling money out of her account savings. We got home around midnight, and my wife was upset that I took my daughter out instead of convincing her to eat her cooking. My wife and I will chat long when I'm off work. Maybe I'll starve her rather. Part 2. My jealous wife has been starving my daughter on purpose. The talk with my wife went horribly. I asked her what was going on. My wife was hesitant and she didn't want to have this talk at all, but finally she said she hates cooking for my daughter. She said that it was too much to go out of her way to constantly go out of her way to accommodate her, and how annoying it was to always make sure the food was cooked to a certain texture and seasoned to my daughter's liking. She then revealed that she stopped cooking food the way my daughter liked because our son didn't like it. She then proceeded to say that my daughter just needed to grow as it was only food and wouldn't hurt her, and how her being picky was just a draining. I asked why she didn't have a sit down with our kids to make some sort of compromise and she said her son's needs came before my daughter's. She also revealed that she had straight up stopped buying more than half of my daughter's personalized grocery list because it was a waste of money and that our son what snacks that he wanted. I was dumbfounded and asked her if she was just going to let my daughter go hungry, to which she responded by saying all she had to do was eat the food she cooked. I asked her what was draining about putting 1 or 2 pieces of plain chicken aside. She said I wouldn't get it because I didn't cook for my daughter like she did. This was true, as I'm at work from 5 to 9 and I only cook dinner on weekends, holidays, and holiday breaks. She apologized to me, but suggested that I should convince my daughter to eat the food she doesn't like because it would make everyone's life easier. I then asked her if she would think the same thing if it was our son and she didn't respond, which was answer enough. I went to talk to my daughter again to ask if my wife treated her in any way that showed her favoritism. What my daughter told me shocked me. She said that whenever she didn't eat my wife's food, she would call her a fatty and that she should stop eating altogether then because she looks like a pig. Mind you, my daughter is skinny and still eats healthy. She also pinches her a lot randomly to the point where she bled. She often tells her that she wished she wasn't around, that her son would have been better as an only child. I'm about to unalive this chick.